computer. All right. So my name's Greg Maldwin. I live in Morgan Hill, part of Silicon Valley, hence the name. I've been working with WordPress for over 10 years and Elementor about 4 years. Let's do some quick introductions. We can go around. Barry, you want to kick it off?
I'm Barry Sardis. I'm actually more of a user as opposed to an agency kind of person, and I have a website, techforaging.com. I live in San Jose. I've been working on this since 2018. And this year I've been taking Udemy courses on development stuff, and so I'm getting to understand what the heck's going on.
Very good. Catherine, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Catherine. I'm in South Carolina. I have been using WordPress 2012. I've been using Elementor for the past 3 years. I am a teacher. I used to teach older adults computer skills in their home, but can't do that anymore. So I've had to move online, and so I've been coding since I was 11 years old. So that's me.
How is that, teaching people online? I go, okay.
It's a challenge, but it's doable. I like Zoom's platform where I can control and click on their screen, take remote control, and that is helpful.
Cool. Barbette, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Barbette, and I have actually only been using Elementor since, I guess, 2018. I'm pretty much trying to build a business through WordPress, and so I'm just trying to learn as much as I can to build a business, as well as be able to create websites that are what I call wearable for the client, that they'll be proud to wear.
Nice.
So I just finished one website for a friend, and we're actually doing a barter situation where I'm building the site and she's helping me to build a business. So yeah, that's where I am.
Very good. Bob?
Morning, everybody. Or good afternoon now, sorry, depending where you are.
That's where you are.
My name is Bob Galino. I'm a marketing consultant, and I help companies put their product communication strategies together. And as part of those services, I often am helping with their website, sometimes doing a redesign, sometimes just adding stories and pages here and there. And so learning WordPress and just staying up on all the new tools and things that are available to make that experience better for people who visit the site is something I always try to stay focused on, and that's why I'm here today.
Very good. Stacy, you want to introduce yourself? You got your mute. Unmute.
Great. Hi, Stacy Wilkinson. I've been building WordPress websites since 2009. And I've been a Beaver Builder user for many, many years, but this week I'm building my first website with Elementor.
Cool.
And yeah, part of it's really easy because conceptually you can do the same things. It's just trying to figure out where things are hidden.
Exactly.
Is the interesting part. So yeah, so I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, Stacy used to be part of the Foothill Meetup group, which has dissolved now, but good to see you.
Yeah, thanks.
Darlene, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I live in San Jose, and I did work with WordPress. I guess it's been like 6 years ago. I worked on a blog. I had a blog for a while with WordPress, and then I came back to it, again during the pandemic. I had time to kind of see if I wanted to restart it, and I was redoing everything and wanted a whole new work set up for what I was doing, and Elementor, so, I got plugged into Elementor, and I was told that was going to be a lot easier and better, and it's a lot more complicated than I had hoped it would be. I thought WordPress, about whatever it was 6 years ago, was pretty simple and I could handle it easily. But now I'm on my Bluehost page that has an editor and an editor Elementor, and so I'm constantly fooling around and wasting time trying to go back and forth with what's going on. So I'm a little frustrated.
Well, you'll figure it out. Takes a little time. Bill, you want to introduce yourself? Can't hear you. I see you unmuted, but I can't hear you.
How's that?
That's much better.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so Bill Smith, I'm in San Jose. I am working at an early stage startup, helping with their marketing efforts, and used WordPress and Elementor to put up the company's corporate website. And that process went fairly well, but I'm joining these just to kind of learn more about the tools.
Very good. Joe, you're up.
Hello, everyone. My name's Joe. I'm an Elementor leader down here in Santa Clarita, California. I saw your topic and I thought, hey, I want to jump on and learn more about ACF. So
Glad you dropped
that's
in.
why I'm here today.
Cool.
Good to be here.
Lynn, you want to introduce yourself?
There, I had to unmute myself. I'm eavesdropping from Dallas, Texas. Greg, I saw you in our Elementor group, a month ago or so.
That's right.
Which opened my eyes to the idea that, hey, it's virtual. We can go do other Zooms. And so I saw your topic, and just like the last guy, I saw the topic, loved it, and thought, I want to drop in and see. Sadly, I just got off a client phone call, and I've now got a little bit of a crisis that I have to deal with. So I'm going to be, when I mute again, I'm going to be eavesdropping and listening, but I may not be fully tuned in.
No worries.
But I will say, only in the last kind of an interesting twist from the time that I signed up for your meetup, I have really gotten sidetracked with Crock-a-Block's using their custom post types, meta fields, and all. And I'm actually kind of curious today to see if there's any compelling reason for me to continue using custom post types. I've got the pro version or whatever it is. And or to kind of, I'm trying to see if the Crock-a-Block group has everything CPT has, and if it's a viable kind of all-in-one package, because I use so much of the Jet engine, Jet Elements, Jet everything, that using their internal post types and meta fields and all seems to be more. Whether I'm right or wrong, seems more efficient. It seems like keeping it all in one block seems to be appealing.
Might be more integrated, yeah. I've heard great things about Crock-a-Block. So yeah, maybe you can come back and do a presentation for us.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, I tell you, like I said, over the last couple of weeks, I've been working on a couple of specific sites where I had to figure out some functionality, and I am just, the more I get into it, the more excited I get, the more I realize how powerful it is. And about a year, so I've been back to the introduction. So I've been doing WordPress for about 8 years. I'm a designer first turned developer, love developing and don't really want to design anymore. I just want to do development. And I got onto Elementor about 3 years ago and went 100% Elementor. I use the Hello theme. I love just using the absolute bare bones Hello theme, and then building on top of that. I think Elementor is absolutely the greatest thing that's ever happened. And about a year ago, I kind of did a lot of research on all the various plugins, the add-ons, and I ended up choosing Crock-a-Block for all of their plugins. And I can't even tell you exactly why a year ago I went that way, but I kind of decided back then to go all in with one of them, so that I didn't end up having, 16 different plugins one to handle tabs and one to handle, menus and something. I wanted an all-in-one resource, and I've been just extremely happy with them in terms of their customer support. They've got a Facebook page that is phenomenal for, finding solutions and when I run into when I get stumped on something. But anyways, so enough about me. I'm excited to listen in on the presentation today, and thanks for being virtual and letting us outsiders benefit from your presentation.
Did you look at Happy, the Happy plugin, or Happy Elements, I forget what it's called?
Yeah, I feel like I saw a meetup last week that talked about the Happy elements or add-ons.
I did that one. It looks pretty good. I'll need to investigate that. Well, I'm glad you joined us. Rui, you want to go?
Hi, are you listening to me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm working with Elementor from 2 years, and I'm in Portugal, Europe, and I'm here to learn more about ACF, Advanced Custom Fields, because I'm managing right now some sites, and right now I'm working because of the hour, and I'm here to learn with you. Thanks to having me here.
You're welcome. We got
Thanks.
one more. Dave, you want to introduce yourself? Dave, you want to go next? Maybe he stepped away. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to do an intro to, this is an introduction, so it's going to be very beginner. We're going to talk about advanced custom fields and custom post types. Let me do a screen share. Some things out of the way. Can you see that screen? Elementor Silicon Valley?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep, got it.
First of all, let me look at the plugins that I'm going to be using today. So I have Elementor Pro, which you'll need the Pro version to work with dynamic fields. At the top, I have Advanced Custom Fields, Custom Post Type UI. I also have something called LE Custom Skin, which we'll look at later. And I have something else called the Flexible Elementor Panel. So if you're using Elementor on a regular basis, you might check out this flexible panel, which allows you to do several things, drag it to the other side of the screen, show more than one element in the row, bunch of neat things. It's very handy. So first of all, I'm going to show how we can add advanced custom fields to a particular page, so we can make changes to the page without going into Elementor, just through the WordPress editor. So let's go to Pages. I'll do Add New. And we're going to edit. This is going to be, let's call it Aqua Spa. And edit with Elementor. I'm going to grab one of their Elementor's templates that has to do with spas. Down here a ways. So we can preview it. Yeah, this is the one we want. What I'm going to do is be able to change the headline and the subheadline and pictures from within WordPress instead of Elementor. So I'll go ahead and insert this into the page. And do a save on it, publish on this. Just to show you real quick, the flexible Elementor panel, you can right click to open and close your panel. You can resize it, show more than one. You can close the whole thing up to the top. You can drag it over the other side of the screen. So it's kind of handy. You'll like it once you start using it. I'm going to exit back out the dashboard. I'm going to go create our custom fields. Oops. Actually, I already did them. Let me delete them. So we're going to go custom fields. I'm going to do add new. We're going to create a new field group. These are just a group of fields that we'll be adding to a particular post type. We'll call it Aqua Spa. And let's create some fields here. I'm going to create a headline. That's the label for the field. This is the slug or field name, which will be always lowercase, no spaces, can include dashes or underscores. And you've got to choose the field type. We're going to choose text, but you can see you have a lot of different field types that you could be using. You could give instructions to the user and the admin when they're entering this information as to where this belongs on the page. We're going to leave that empty. You can make it required. There's a lot of different things here. Put in a default value, placeholder text that appears in the field before you start typing. You can prepend something to the beginning or append to the end of the field. Put a character limit. There's a lot of different things. I'm going to kind of keep this basic and just go ahead and add another field. This field is going to be called subheading. And again, this will be text as well. And let's do one more field. This will be for one of the images below. We'll just call it image 1. This time we're going to choose a field type of image. And one last thing we need to do is tell where this is going to belong, where this field group can be accessed. So we're going to choose a post type. And you can choose these different post types. We're going to choose page. And we're going to go ahead and update this. Publish. Get you guys out of the way. Publish. All right. So if I go back to that page I created, Aqua Spa, if I go into edit like WordPress, you'll see I have the fields that I just created. So headline, we'll do Aqua Spa. Let me actually do a view page first so you can see what it looks like prior to this. So it says, welcome to Clinic Spa Boutique. We have a little subheading here. We have these 3 images. So we're going to change the headline to Aqua Spa. We're going to change the subheading. Let's put in some text here. Copy and paste that in there. Subheading. Let's grab a new image. Let's grab this one here. Select that. So there we go. We're going to update that. Now we're going to need to go into the page, and we need to edit with Elementor so we can attach these fields to the new fields in the field group we created. So we'll click on the title here. And here's the title entered as text here, but there's a little icon here called dynamic tags. This will allow us to connect this to the field group we created, or actually the field we created in the spa field group. You can also put in, like, say you wanted the post title. That'll put in just the title that we entered when we created the page. It's not what we want. We want to actually go down to the very bottom under Advanced Custom field. Once you select that, you select the little wrench to the left and grab the key, and we'll grab heading. That'll link those two together. We'll do the same thing with the subheading. Dynamic tags. Advanced Custom Field. Click the wrench, and we'll go with subheading. There we go, we brought that in. Let's change one of these images. We'll click on this one. We'll get rid of this image. Again, dynamic fields, ACF. Click the wrench and the key. And it knows what type of element we're working with because it only shows the image field. It doesn't show the text fields from the other one. Select that. We dropped in our new image. Go ahead and update that. Do a save. So this way, rather than having your client or yourself go into Elementor all the time to make changes, you can usually go in here and say, we'll change this image that we put into something else. Let's delete this image, put in another one. And this guy here. Update. Go back, refresh. There we go. Any questions so far? Straightforward.
Well, I have a question. Is this recorded that I can watch this again?
Yes, it is. Did I go too?
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
it's too fast for me, but don't worry about that. I'm just, because I'm not sure where you're editing everything. That's where I'm getting confused.
Okay, well, let me.
Right. And let me ask the same question
Sure.
differently. So that's kind of the same question I have.
Mhm.
Did you start the editing in Elementor? Did you start the
Well,
inserting in the
I
Elementor?
went into a blank page. We created a page from the Elementor template library. So this came in. Then from there, I went into custom fields. We created a new field group called Aquaspa.
Oh.
In that field group, we created these 3 fields, one for the headline, one for the subheading, and one from the image. So the headline being Aquaspa here, the subheading underneath, and an image which we used on the first image here. So those were the different fields that we used. So when I went back to edit the page, since I assigned the post type to pages, it brought in these fields for me. So all I had to do was enter the new information, and the new information automatically appears on the page.
Can I
Greg,
ask
if you
you a
don't mind my
question?
asking.
Whoa, hey, 3 at one
Go ahead.
time.
Along those lines, can you start with a plugin and show us how you edit with a plug from a plugin? Is that, you know what I'm saying?
So the plugin. So this is the Advanced Custom Field plugin. This allows you to add fields. You can add fields to any of the post types, whether it's a post, a blog entry, a page, an image. It allows you to add extra fields to those items.
I bet.
And
So many iPods. But.
So this is the plugin where you add the custom fields. We're going to look at this one later, but I created this new one, Aquaspa. And I added these 3. This one's type text. This is a text and this is an image. However, there could be a lot of different field types.
Okay, because you put it in custom fields, it's gonna show up in custom fields.
Well, we added them as custom fields, but we have the post type set equal to page, so they're going to show up on page. If I were to change this to post, and I went into that page, they wouldn't be there. But since I pick page, they'll show up under a page.
Can you set that where it says post type, can you set it specifically to a page, as in page is equal to whatever the page you named?
Yeah, you can add another rule. Page is equal to Aquaspa. So you could do it this way. So it'll only appear on the Aquaspa page. If I create another new page of any kind, it will not show up.
Right. Because I was doing it the way you did, post type equals page, and I wasn't getting it. I was only getting it if I put it page is equal to test. I mean, test was the page that I was using it on.
Right.
And then the fields showed up.
Yeah, I probably could have just done this. I'm not sure. Any other questions at this point?
So, sorry to ask the really dense question,
No problem.
but what problem would I be trying to solve to create these custom field types? And maybe it would be better illustrated by creating some, or just telling us about some truly custom and unique field types. I don't know.
Well, if there's a message on the screen that, say, your client wants to change all the time, and you don't want them going to trying to figure it out through Elementor and mucking around, it's much easier just to go into the edit page and change the text here without trying to find out where to change it and whether to click on it and that sort of thing. It's easier for the client to deal with.
Probably set up some kind of an author permission that allows them to do that, right?
Elementor has other options for changing the roles on what they can and can't edit. So you could eliminate them from editing Elementor as well. I think they can still change text, but just simplifies the process.
So this might be useful for placing a special COVID message on certain pages and being able to universally change it. We're entering stage 3, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly, yeah, you got it. Yeah, I had,
okay, thank you.
Yeah, I did one as an alert for another site last week where they wanted to post messages periodically, so I did the same type of thing. Any other questions on this? All clear? So we're going to move on to a different example. We're going to look at the custom post type now. So we were adding our custom fields to pages. You can also add custom fields to your own particular post type. So we're going to create a new post type. I'm going to call this one restaurants. We're going to add a few restaurants. Actually, this is the slug. It needs to be lowercase. It needs to be spelled correctly too. And this is the plural version. This is a singular version. And this is going to show up when you go to your custom post type that you'll see in a minute pop up. So we're just going to add this one right away. And you'll see a new entry here for restaurants.
Can I help with the description of what a custom post type is? Because I have the feeling that there's some new people that don't understand. So within WordPress, you have your blog. And your blog has posts that you can categorize and tag. And so what custom post types does is it separates out from your blog and creates a completely separate, I don't know what you want to call that, another, basically a container of items that is like the blog, where you're making your posts and adding tags and categories, but it's separate from the blog.
A blog within a blog.
Kind of.
It's not like
not inside it, but separate from it.
Just like pages are separate from posts. This will be
And so
separate
custom
from
post types are separate from pages and posts.
What's the point? Why
So
have it?
We're going to create a page that shows different restaurants on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a restaurant post type, which we created here. We can add restaurants to the page that'll show up on our restaurant page. It'll make more sense as we go through.
Yeah. So you're separating out all the data about your restaurants You can name it like a blog has a title. The restaurant will have a name. The restaurant will have an address. So all of the content of each restaurant will symbolically look like a blog post because it will have a title, a content, and then you're going to add other little separate fields like the address. It's, ratings, what the menu, and all these other very customizable things you're adding to that one post of a restaurant. And so we create the custom post type to separate it out from the blog and from the pages.
Right, but the point is that it's a very specialized situation. Like if you wanted to do restaurant reviews and you just want to list all the restaurants, so in that specific instance, it's useful.
Yes.
It's really for
Greg, if I could chime in for just a second, please.
Yeah, Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, what's really powerful about having custom post types is essentially it creates additional lists that you can display on a single page. So for example, if you have a blog, when you go to the blog page, there are a whole bunch of articles that are listed usually in chronological order. I have clients that have press releases. And so if you set up a custom post type for press releases, for example, that's all on a separate page from their blog page. Greg is creating a list of restaurants. So that then you can very easily create a list of restaurants that's updated dynamically as you add new restaurants to that post type category. So the power of having a custom post type is that you're able to have dynamic lists that can easily update a page whenever you add a new item to that list.
Could I add to that?
Barry?
Question, is that like
I've taken this course on development, and custom post types are basically, they're additional tables, in your PHP admin database, your SQL database, you have post tables that contain all of the posts. Well, this is a separate table for each custom post type that you have. And then you can have queries against these things. The course used an example of a fictional university, and they created custom post types for courses, for teachers, for events, for campuses. And they were able to then tie these things together in terms of different pages that incorporated elements from those different tables. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with this stuff, but it's more data oriented. Like I said, it's not just a regular piece of text blog post. It's when you have information that is, as Bob said, lists, but they're categorized in tables. And then if you're using JavaScript or other techniques to extract that information and put things together so you can associate teachers with courses that they teach and which campuses that they teach it in, and there's going to be an event.
Good example.
Excellent. Yeah.
So yeah, it could be used for testimonials, portfolios. And as you get it, if you use testimonials and you add a new one, it automatically appears on the page just after you put the data in. You don't need to go into the page and add it. So we'll go ahead.
It's cross-reference filing.
Yeah.
That is either exposed to the public or not.
No.
Yeah.
Depends on what you mean by public. If, it's in the admin, as he sees here, you have this restaurants. So in the case of this fictional university, there was another entry for campuses, for courses, for teachers. Each one, instead of just pages and posts, now each custom post type gets its own equivalent entry in the WP admin, but the front end user doesn't see anything.
So here I'm going to create a new restaurant. So we'll hit add new. And you can see we have, hold on.
Just while you're doing that, can I, I could have, one post type would be the blog, and that's written by the admins, but we could define a whole new post type here that was contributed by users with a different membership level or administrative level. And that could be a whole conversational, kind of blog. And this would be ideal for that. You could probably add tags, etc., with custom field types. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So here I'll do a quick example. We entered a new restaurant, and we can add the title, and we can add a featured image. And that's about all we can add right now because we have just the standard WordPress fields available to us. So we're going to add custom fields to this to add some more field groups. So let me publish this. We'll come back to this in a minute. So we'll go to custom fields.
So you're not sharing screen.
Not seeing the screen.
Do you want to share? I'm not seeing the screen.
I see it.
I see the screen. Yeah,
Okay,
I see it.
So we'll call this one restaurants. Actually, I always call restaurant groups just to be specific of what it is. And have trouble spelling that. So, okay, we're going to create some new fields to add to our restaurant. We're going to create an address. And this will be type text area, so we need more than one line. And again, you can, like I showed you before, we can add instructions required, different things here. And this changes depending on what field type you have. You have different variations underneath, different options underneath. Let's create another one. We'll create a phone.
While you're there, Greg, if I may ask you, I'm actually in the process of setting up a mall directory, and I've set up a custom post type for each store, and there are some fields that I've added, like phone, address, whatever. But each store has a different social media platform. So for instance, one might have Facebook, one might have Facebook and Twitter. I can't, and when I add the field type as a URL for, let's say, their website, it's not appearing on the front end. And I can't get the social media icons to appear, even though I'm using like Font Awesome or something like that.
We'll take a look at that when we get through this, see if I can duplicate what you're trying to do.
Okay.
So let's add a phone. Let's add one more. We'll add a description. And this one will be, let's use the WYSIWYG editor for this one. And now we're going to go back here where the post type equals to. This time, instead of post or page, we're going to choose the custom post type we created, which is the restaurant. Go ahead and publish that. So now when I go into restaurants, we'll go into the one I created. You'll see these new fields. So let's add the address. And a phone number. And description. And we'll update that. So we have one restaurant added. If you view it, it's going to show what WordPress knows about it. And WordPress doesn't know about these custom fields. So all it shows you is the title. So what we need to do now is go into Elementor and create a template to display a single restaurant. Before I do that, I'm going to close this down, drag into another. Okay, and I brought over another URL which has the restaurants already entered, so we won't have to do that online. So what I'll do is I'll go to Elementor under Theme Builder. We need to create a single page for each one of these that has all the information that we entered with our custom fields. So we'll choose single and add a new single type. This will be type restaurant. You can put something here if you want, doesn't really matter. We'll create that template. We'll close this. and begin creating our single restaurant post type. So we'll put a picture at the top. We'll grab the featured image and drop that here. One thing to show you, sometimes this won't come up right away. You go to settings, under preview settings, you can choose restaurant. I had selected it earlier, so it came up by default. Normally it'd probably come up like so. So we'll go back here, change the preview, restaurant. You can actually pick a restaurant from the list and apply preview. That brings in our featured image. So let's create another 2-column row underneath of that. And we'll drop in the title of the restaurant. And we can just do the post title. And let's put the phone number on the other side. So we'll grab we'll use a heading. Since it's larger, we'll right align that. And again, we're going to change this text to bring in our phone number. We'll click Dynamic Tags. We'll go down to Advanced Custom Fields. Click the wrench, key, and this time we want the phone to come in. There we go. Let's change the color of this. Do black. We'll copy this, paste the style over here, and let's bring in our description underneath. For that, we'll use text editor since we used WYSIWYG. We'll drop that in as a new row. Again, dynamic tags, advanced custom fields, wrench, key, description. A couple other things you can do under advanced. You can put something before or after. You could also do this back when we created the field itself, but you can do it here right on the page. We'll just put description. Thought I have a spell checker. You could also put in HTML here if you want. You can make this strong. So there we have our Elementor template for the single version of a restaurant. We'll go ahead and publish that. And it's going to ask us where we want to use this template. We want to use it on restaurants, so we want to use it on all restaurants. So we're going to go ahead and save that. So now if we go back to the front end, here's what it looks like. Not designed properly, but you get the idea. We're just trying to show how to use custom post types and advanced custom fields. If I go back to the dashboard, restaurants, and let's just look at another one. You can see they're all using that template we just created. So now we need another one for displaying multiple restaurants, the archive. So we're going to go back and create a new template for that. Theme builder. Any questions on what I just did? Creating the single page template? No? Okay. So we're going to create an archive template now. New archive template. And again, this is going to be for need to change something here. Something I forgot to do. We need to go back to the custom post type. Edit post type. I'm going to go back to restaurants that we created earlier. A couple things I forgot to do. We want to be able to use these with archives. So as archives true, make this true. And I didn't show you also the, when I created earlier, I just had the pin, but you can go to the dash icons and put in one of them like I did here. I think this was left over from before, but I grabbed this icon, dash food, dash icons food. I dropped it in here, which gives it the little knife, fork, and spoon icon next to my custom post type. So let me see if I got everything. That's true. As archive true. I think that should do it. Say post type, let's try it again. So archive. Where's my restaurant? Is archive true? Not sure what the problem is here. Okay. Oh, I don't think it shows up there. I'm confused. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll just create an archive template. And set the preview tag to restaurant archive. Apply.
Okay. So what did I do with that?
And we're going to bring an archive post.
Oh, somewhere.
The widget. There they are. So bringing that archive widget brings in all our restaurants. So we can publish that. Add a condition. This is where I was looking for the restaurants. All archive we want. Restaurant archive. Save and close. So I was looking for it in the wrong place. Any questions so far?
Yes. In the beginning, when you were adding the phone number for the restaurant, is that going to be like a click to call phone number?
It
Or
could.
you have to do add the HTML to make it that?
You'd have to add the HTML to do that.
Okay, and then also add the HTML for the icon of a phone?
You could do that as well, or yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, great, thanks. And also, there's a lot of background noise, so if people aren't talking, can you mute yourself? That's just my request.
Greg, just one quick note on clicking phone numbers. Most phones nowadays, you don't need to add the HTML. It just kind of, the browser just kind of parses it, and then you're able to just click on it.
Especially on a phone, right? Yeah. So with Elementor, they give you, with the archive view, you have classic. They also have cards, which look like this. There's a lot of different options here. How many columns you want to show, whether you want the image to show or not. Masonry effect, size of the image ratio, turn the title off and on. In this situation, you'd probably want to get rid of the metadata. read more. Well, I don't need that. And avatar, turn the avatar off. So it looks more like so. And again, you have cards, classic, full content. Pretty basic. So I'm going to show you another plugin which I use called Elementor Skins, which lets you create just this section of the archive, because otherwise you're stuck with just the options you have here. Go ahead and update this. We'll go back to the dashboard, and we're going to create another template. And let me show you the plugin first. This plugin, Elementor Skin, which is a free plugin. There is an advanced version of that too that does extra things that we don't need. So we're going to go back to templates, theme builder, and it adds this extra tab called loop. So when you go through pages in WordPress or posts, they all go through what's called the WordPress loop. So we're going to choose loop. We're going to create our first loop. It's going to be type loop. We'll call it restaurant archive. Create the template. Now we're going to build just that single element that shows up in the archive. We don't need this. So we're still going to start with an image at the top. You can use the featured image. And let's set our preview settings to restaurant type. We'll grab one of the restaurants. And apply that. Then we'll add some information down below. We're not going to add a whole lot of information because you'll click on this in the archive to go to the single version of it where you get the detailed information. So I'm just going to put the post title underneath in a new row. Maybe I'll add the phone number here too. We'll add an extra column. And we'll grab a heading. We'll right align that. Go to dynamic tags, advanced custom fields, and we'll grab the phone. Actually, we'll take that out. We'll do them. Get rid of this column. We'll just do name. Let's center the name. Let's center the phone number. I think that's all we need to show. We do need to, when they click on the image, we want to take them to the single. So we're going to do image content. Actually, this will automatically take them to. If we click on the name, these will to. Okay, name, we want to link this to. So we're going to change the URL when they click on the name. And we'll have them go to the post custom field. That should do it. Change the color. Okay, I think that should be good. And typically you want these things wide because they're going to shrink or expand within your, depending on how many columns you have on your detailed view. So we're going to publish this template. Add a condition to it. This is going to be for all restaurant. That's right. Update. Let's go back out to the front end. So I need to go back into Elementor because we want to change it to the skin we just created. We'll click on the archive posts. And now we have this new option that shows up called custom. And we're going to choose the restaurant archive, the one we just created. Now you can see that brings it in. Update that. Exit out. So now we change this information, and you can, actually it's not working to click on these. Let's go see if we can fix that. So we'll go back into the loop. Oh, link. So link, we want a custom URL, dynamic tags, and we want this to go to the post URL. Same with the title. Post URL. Update. Go back out. So now we can click to go into the detail of the post type we created. So again, this could be a lot of different things, whatever your imagination creates, where you want to be able to add new items and they appear automatically on the page. Any questions at this point?
Can you add?
Pardon?
How did you add the choose the custom skin? Where did you do that? When you just, I guess you just applied the custom skin to this.
Yeah, what I did
restaurant.
Just to step through, yeah. First, I'd gone into templates. We created a new skin by using the loop.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just take a peek at it. Edit with Elementor. So this is where we built the custom skin.
Right.
And this is where we assigned it under Restaurant Archive Loop. And we had selected, I'm sorry, that's not correct. Go back. We wanted the archive. So the custom archive would use the Elementor edit archive posts. This is where we chose custom.
Okay, great. Thank you.
After choosing custom, then you can choose this other drop down to choose the one you created, the loop skin created.
Great. Thanks.
Sure. You can always go back to cards or back to custom.
And my question was, I'm assuming on the skin, you can also still add effects. Like, let's say if I wanted to have the picture black and white and then hover over it and make it color.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. So we'll go back to the loop. And let's change the image to style. So we'll do a filter. We'll turn the saturation all the way down. And on hover, we'll put the saturation back to normal. So as you hover over, it'll do like so. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep, yep. And that would carry through on the entire skin.
So we'll just update the skin. Go back out to the front end. Restaurants. Now they all appear like so.
Nice. Okay. So
far, so good. let's do one other thing. Let's create a taxonomy, and we'll create different types of restaurants where we can show them that way. So we're going to go to custom post types. We're going to add a taxonomy, and we're going to call it atmosphere. Plural, it doesn't really matter in this case. And these are going to be applied to restaurants. So this taxonomy is going to be associated with restaurants. There's a bunch of other stuff you can do too, but we're not going to look at that. We'll just add the taxonomy. I guess it added. Let me see here. Yeah, there it is. So we now have atmospheres. And we're going to do one for casual. Actually, I already created them over here. So I created a casual and a formal. So if we go into our restaurants, actually I already had them set here too. We have casual on the list. And you could add multiples if you wanted, but I think they probably already have them. There is one other thing you can do under field, not under field groups, on custom post types. Maybe it's custom fields. Let me look here. Restaurant group. There's a way to show the taxonomy in the admin dashboard. Showing menu. Also, I didn't talk about this menu position right now. Restaurant shows right here. But you can also put in a position if you want to move it down somewhere else in the menu scheme. You put in a number to where it wants to appear from 5 to 10. So these are the positions. So if I wanted to move it down here, like after appearance, you could do that. These are the different menus and the associated numbers you have. So let's say if you want it below pages, so moving it up below pages, you can put in, say, a value of 21, which would be between these pages and comments. So if I put in 21 and update, you can see it moves it where to go. Oh, wrong place. Menu positions up here. 21, update. So I moved it up a little bit, and you can position it however you want. Sometimes if you have a bunch of custom fields that are related to each other, you might want them all together in a certain section. It makes it easier for you or your client to find. So let's get back to taxonomies. I think I have them for all restaurants already. Let me look at these real quick. See, this one's casual. This one's formal. So if we go back to, let's go to appearance, menus. See if I can add a new menu option for that. Actually, let me view casual. Ah, I forgot something here. Custom post type. I need to enable taxonomies for this custom post type. So you need to check that box. It wasn't there before, but since we created, it's now available. So now if I view casual, oh, it's still not working. I think there's a problem because these are left over from behind. I'm gonna get rid of that one and add another one, casual, update. Hopefully this is the problem. Come on, formal. And one more. Okay, let's see if this works now. No. Let me check something here. Taxonomies, restaurants. Don't think I need anything else here. Oh yeah, I think I do. Hierarchical, that needs to be true. And rewrite. Okay, let's try this. Casual. Still not working. Well, I'm not going to keep you any longer on that.
Hey, Greg,
That's
just
kind
very
of
quickly, it might be because that casual and formal here right on the screen in atmospheres, those were left over. You may need to delete these and then add them because it was left over.
that could be, yeah.
Just a guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There's no option to even delete here, which is kind of a problem. Let's call it something else. Taxonomy, we'll just call it type. Can't use type, we'll call it R type, restaurant type. Plural, yeah, okay. Restaurants. Add taxonomy. So it gives me the option now to edit and delete, which the other ones weren't. So there was some sort of issue. Casual, formal. Okay, let's go back to restaurants. Now we're getting a box that looks a little more normal. Casual. It's already assigned. Yeah, it gets confused if you do things and delete them to show someone else. Normally this wouldn't happen. So yeah, they're all assigned. Let's look at art types and view.
When you were editing the individual restaurants for the taxonomies there, it said it had casual and formal listed under atmosphere, not under R type.
Oh, was it? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Ah, thank you. Always good to have a backseat driver. So now we got casual here. Okay. Ronnie, casual, update, French docs, make that formal, update, Lakeside Crown, okay, let's go back here. Fingers crossed. View casual. There we go. And formal. There we go. So what we could do now is go into menu settings, menus. We can add a custom link. I think you only need the art type. Formal. Add to menu. Casual. Add to menu. Take these submenus. Save menu. Back out to the front end. Restaurants. All restaurants. We'll go to formal. Here we go, formal and casual. Any questions? Covered a lot, but I think that's the end of my presentation. Thanks for bearing with me through all the problems, but sometimes you learn more that way.
It's actually very useful for all of the peripheral things that you touched on and dealt with as you were going. So thank you.
Well, thank you all for joining me, and hope to see you next month.
This was great.
Any other questions? Or feedback?
I was gonna say thanks, Greg. Sorry to jump in before you.
No
This
problem.
was really awesome. Thanks for doing the demo.
Great.
Greg, would you be able to see if you can add, let's say, on the custom post type for the restaurant, let's say if you wanted to add the social media platform, what I want is like the front end user to be able to, while they're posting, say add the Facebook or their Twitter icon or their.
Yeah, let's see if we can do that. So we're going to go into on the single, right?
Mm-hmm.
Edit the single. We want social media. Social icons, we'll just drop them in over here.
No, what I'm looking for is there should be, when we're adding the post, so when you're writing the post,
okay,
maybe that this particular restaurant only has Facebook, or maybe it only has Twitter. I want to be able to add that URL and the icon come up automatically on the post as a custom field, and it automatically fills in on the front end.
Okay, I think you'd have to go into custom fields for the single.
So, right, so so far I've gone and made a custom field back on, let's say on your restaurant, you'd have to go into the custom fields and add something for, I don't know, I guess it would be a URL, or would it be social?
Well, let's add a field here. What are our field types? We can do URL.
And let's just say, let's call it Facebook. And now the person, when they're writing their post, they're gonna drop in the Facebook link to that particular restaurant.
Sure, so Facebook, URL.
Yeah, Greg,
Yeah.
is there if you could go back to that list of field type, is there one for icon or something? Because URL, I think, is just gonna list text, right?
Well, you can use that as a link to bring it in, I believe. I don't see anything like that. They may have that in the paid version. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Or you could choose can you associate a URL with an image? So if you choose an image type as a field type and then add a URL, a link to it?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
Let's look into
Just
that.
thinking out loud here.
Well, let's see if
Yeah,
we,
ideally that is what I'd like, right? Like, obviously the icon would have to come up.
well, you could, there is a plugin called Dynamic Conditions where you could set it up, and if you could set the icon there initially, and if it's not there, hide it. If there is no Facebook link. This one. So let's just go into one of these restaurants. Grab a Facebook. We'll just put in a link to what's on Elementor. Update that. And then we'll edit the single. And then I'll just put it down below here. So we need a icon. Facebook icon. And we want that to be positioned in line. And we're going to add a, I guess, a heading. Come on. We'll just do it like this for now. Yeah, I just put in a link, so I didn't put in a description, but let's just try with the link. Dynamic tags, and we'll grab the Facebook link.
And that's just going to list the text for that link, right? Is there a way to apply that custom field as a link to the icon?
Yeah, we could do that. Well, it should have done it. Let's go back. Ah, it didn't get saved.
You were editing a different restaurant.
Oh, was it? Thank you.
Yeah. I think it was Karma House.
Yeah.
Karma Heaven.
Karma Heaven, is that it?
Whatever.
There it is. Yeah.
Ah. Okay, yay. So then I can add actually a condition to show if I don't have the URL attached, then that icon wouldn't come up.
Yeah. I don't think you can do it with Elementor. I think it's, I think you need the dynamic conditions
Okay.
plugin to do that, which lets you put conditions in all fields. Let's check.
What if you just went to another restaurant right now? It doesn't do it on, oh, the icon's still going to be there though, right?
Oh, yeah, good point. Like SiteGround. Yeah, it's still there, but there's no link because there's nothing associated with it. With dynamic conditions, you can check if there's no link, then it won't show it.
And would it move position? Let's say if I had 3.
It would take that space out. Yeah, if you had 3 in a row, it'd just take out the one you had the dynamic condition as if it was never there. And it doesn't just tie to a CSS, it actually removes it from the page. So that should work for you. And you could put, you know, whatever social media buttons you want next to each other. That would work out.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions or feedback?
How would we be able, how would we be able to watch the replay on this?
I'll email a link out once it's uploaded to YouTube. It takes a while.
Okay, that's fine. Great, thank you.
I'll make that available.
Thank you very much. I learned a lot. I know custom post types pretty well, but would have never known about whatever that little right click on certain things again.
Different than Beaver Builder, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you all for your participation and hope to see you next month. We'll have another topic.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye.